Welcome to Soveryn Podcast. Today in studio, we welcome a new friend of the podcast, Mr. Andrew Notter, Chairman of the British Chamber of Commerce of Luxembourg. Andrew's work has seen him lead initiatives in major European capitals such as London, Brussels, and more recently Luxembourg. And we at Soveryn have become interested in the British Chamber for a number of reasons, which we hope to further outline in the conversation that follows. With an exciting roster of events to come in 2024, a new focus on compelling conversation in particular, we asked Andrew to join us for a brief chat to help kick off the season. Welcome, Andrew. Thank you for being here. Could you please introduce yourself to our audience?
Thank you, Paul. Yes, of course, and thank you very much for welcoming me this morning, and we're very happy to be here. So as Paul was very kindly pointed, I'm the chairman of the British Chamber of Commerce. I was newly appointed last year. I've been part of the Chamber of Commerce for the last, seems over 10 years, so I've been kind of well established in Luxembourg during that time. I've been in Luxembourg for actually 16 years, so I've been exposed to the Chamber for quite a number of years and seen many events and leadership through that time. And now it's my opportunity to take the lead in the Chamber and help shape the future for what we're trying to achieve. But quick background into me, as I mentioned, I've been here for a few years. Two young kids brought up and actually born in Luxembourg.
Wow.
They still have better language skills than me. So that's something which is great to be here and enable kids to enjoy living in Luxembourg.
Very good. For our audience, why should they consider becoming a member of the British Chamber? What's in it for them?
Absolutely, yeah. It's always it's a question that comes up quite often, actually. I mean, people do see the British Chamber as just for British people, and actually it's a very international chamber for the English-speaking network in Luxembourg. So we do have a very international membership base. And what is the British Chamber? Yeah, it's a very active chamber. It's actually one of the biggest chambers or international chambers in Luxembourg with the biggest membership. So it's grown over 30 years in Luxembourg and established a number of different members through from individuals, but also large corporations that are part of the chamber and have been since it was incorporated over 30 years ago. So it's got a very broad membership base, and that's something as a chairman and as the British Chamber, we're really trying to cater for all of the needs that our members have. So that's something that every month we go through a council meeting and discussion. What can we do and how can we increase the value and the membership that we have, but also what the members get out of it. So I'm very happy to be here today to explain a few things that we can do.
And is that chamber also connected with the UK government? So it would be also connected with the administration here in Luxembourg?
Correct, yes. So we are linked through to the British Chamber in the UK, and I do have regular meetings with the British Chamber in London, and that's part of an international network. So within those meetings, I link up with all the different British chambers around the world, and we talk about what the UK is trying to achieve from their global reach. Also, what are other chambers doing? How do they work? And what's been kind of the trends in their countries as well? There is a big network of people that we're in contact with. I've recently been meeting with the head of trade that's based in Brussels actually, but they're also overseeing Luxembourg in order to understand how they're attracting companies to Luxembourg, but also how can we kind of bridge the gap between the UK and Luxembourg from a trade perspective. So there's a lot to discuss from the British Embassy, but also with the trade missions that they're doing and attracting companies to Luxembourg as well.
So further to that, tell us about the sustaining members. I imagine a large organization like yours will have significant partners that are part of the constellation of the group.
Absolutely, yeah. So the sustaining members, there are some new, but there was also some very long-serving sustaining members. The sustaining members have had some privileges over the years where they've been exposed to some breakfast briefings with the British ambassador in Luxembourg, and that's an exclusive membership where people have been, especially through Brexit years, understanding what's happening with the UK and how do they see that affecting Brexit and what does that mean for companies based in Luxembourg. So that's been quite an interesting network of people and something that we've been able to provide as an added value to our members in that sustaining group. And that's something that we continue to focus on to make sure we can offer something different to enable our sustaining members to really get good value out of their membership. But they're also supporting the chamber and making sure we can link up with them to help our members in all different categories achieve what they're trying to get out of the membership as well.
I would imagine there's also something to do with the community overall, the British community. There's a school, there's a wider expat community, I believe, of British people here.
Absolutely, yes. So we do link up with the university. We're linked up with the alumni there that have an exposure. So we kind of support the university with anyone that's looking at their careers and how do they network and what do they do. And as one of the largest chambers, we're there to help kind of integrate them into our network and help them to point them in the right direction, or at least to kind of enable them to network with individuals that can help them in their career and professional development as well. From a schooling perspective, yes, we link up with the International School of Luxembourg, the ISL, St George's, making sure that they have a voice. We did an event last year in St George's, and that was really interesting. It was on sustainability, and it was great to hear the voice of well-established CEOs. How do they see the future? What's important from their business and sustainability? But I think a lot of the questions actually came from the school kids that were really interested to know, what can we do? What can we change? And this is how I see it. And that's really interesting, really rich and kind of encouraging to get that feedback from different parts of the audience as well. So that's why we really encourage that. And St George's, I've been a member for a number of years and certainly do get involved in a lot of the activities that we do as well.
So further from there, what does membership look like if you are part of this chamber, and what are the categories? Because I imagine you have a small company like ours, or you have a small individual member, or someone, a young person, all the way up to part of a larger corporation as an employee.
Absolutely, yes. So I've been driving forward since last year. There's a new global campaign which is called Where Business Belongs, and that's a global incentive from the British Chamber in the UK, really to encourage people to understand what the British Chamber is about and what it's doing. In Luxembourg, what I've been doing is to really profile our members. So we've looked at our sustaining members. We've run some social media campaigns about why they're part of the Chamber, what's the trend in their business, and some business advice that they've given us. So it's really been interesting to hear their feedback, some of the interesting business advice that they can give, but also help them to profile themselves in the local market. So that's been really good for our sustaining members, and we're going through our business members and individuals in their future. But it's a great challenge actually to cater for many different needs. We have a startup category, we have now a young members category, so it's really looking at people that are entering the business world and understanding what the Chamber can offer them. Also from a startup category, we understand that people with a kind of a 1 or 2 person business trying to launch their business for the first few years need a bit of assistance, and that's why we've offered them a membership that can be quite competitive for them, but enables them to get some of the benefits out of the network that we can provide as well. And we're looking in that direction to really see how Luxembourg is a really good place to start a business, and that's where we're trying to cater for some of those needs of startups here as well. So a very full array of different membership categories, but we also organise events around all of those different categories that we have. So that's why we have 70 volunteers that are involved in different subgroups, from legal, from tax to leadership to sustainability. We have a membership category, of course, but there's many different categories there that we cater for to make sure that we can meet the membership needs of our members.
To wrap things up, Andrew, give us a look at a call to action in particular you'd like to focus on.
Absolutely, yeah. So if you're interested in getting involved with the English-speaking network in Luxembourg, then the British Chamber is certainly the place to be. From a networking, a learning, but also a social capacity. We see ourselves as a large community of people, very welcoming. We do have a lot of fun as well. It's not just a business talk. We do have a number of different events, and we had over 23 events last year, and we're looking to do more this year. We've got different events that are social, business, and learning opportunities at the same time. We even have an event in the cinema coming up in March with a large financial institution which is going to do a learning opportunity about personal investing. There's a chance to network, and then we're going to be watching a movie called Wall Street directly after it. So it's mixing a network, learning, but also creating a community in Luxembourg at the same time. So we're doing different events like that, and we have many other events like Brits, Bites and Banter, which is really a social event about bringing people together, having as we class in the UK, banter, but it's like a network together and really getting good friends. And we have many people that have been members for many, many years. So if you're interested in developing your network in Luxembourg and want to be part of that, then the British Chamber is certainly a place to go. We do have some big, large events that we have throughout the year. One is in June. That's in the historical building of Spurkes, where we have our Luxembourg International Business Summit, and that's about understanding what Luxembourg does in the future and how it compares to other countries. What do we do? What do we need to do now to make the future positive? So there's a few discussions and panel discussions around that. And if you want to get involved at the end of the year, we have, of course, the famous British Chamber Christmas lunch, which is over 250 people attend, and it's a great speech from the British ambassador. And we start the year every year with a New Year cocktail at the British ambassador's residence as well. So there's a number of different events that can cater to many different needs of the people in Luxembourg, but certainly from an English-speaking network, we are one of the largest and certainly one of the most active. So I hope to see you at some of our events. If you're interested in discussing further, please do reach out to me. I'm very happy to meet and discuss and provide any further information that's needed.
Thank you very much, Andrew.
My pleasure. Thanks for having me. See you soon. Thanks.